Welcome in to another edition of the JMU Sports News Podcast. I am Bennett Conlon, and I'm joined by Jack Fitzpatrick. The Dukes, well, they hung with Louisville, but they couldn't get it done.
What a way to start that off with.
First moral victory of the season.
Is it even a moral victory? Is it even a moral victory?
No, I mean, we'll get into it. Defense looks nice, though. I'm excited about the defense. Obviously, two quarterbacks.
Defense looks amazing.
Two quarterback system is bad.
Defense looks like it could win a national championship. It's that
good.
I
mean, they really played well defensively.
But you know what didn't play well? Anything on the offensive side.
That's fair.
Before we dive into that, we got to selfless.
I don't think it's selfless, probably.
No.
If we're playing it.
buy us a coffee. Buymeacoffee.com/JMU Sports News. I don't know what word I was... I don't know what word I was going for there. Buy us a coffee. We appreciate everything. We want to remind you guys, in pure JMU Sports News fashion, we didn't really think ahead all that much for when we were launching our recap preview pod schedule for the football season because, Bennett, there is no preview pod this week, and next week there will be no recap pod. Instead, it'll just be a preview pod next week.
Yeah, but I think that's all right. You know, early season bye, we'll get our feet under us. It's good.
It's good. All right. So before we dive too much further, we're going to get a quick ad break in here. Step aside. Be back with JMU Sports News. For more than 20 years, SignPro has been proudly serving the Valley, helping local businesses stand out and get noticed. Whether it's vehicle wraps that turn heads on the road, dimensional signs that elevate your storefront, or long-lasting banners with yard signs, we bring quality and experience to every project. With a reputation built on craftsmanship and trust, we're here to make your message impossible to miss. Visit mysignpros.net and let's showcase your business with confidence. That's mysignpros.net. Every Monday, go to the house with former JMU quarterback Vad Lee and Hall of Famer Delvin Joyce. It's the weekly JMU football podcast with insider insight you won't find anywhere else from two guys who've worn the jersey. Listen now. Subscribe to the JMU Sports News Podcast Network to never miss an episode of To the House every Monday. All right, welcome back in. JMU Sports News Podcast. Time to dive into the game that we witnessed. And I don't know how you want to start this, Bennett. Do we want to just dive right into the bad and the ugly? Do you want to kind of give an overarching, just broad stroke picture to the 28-14 loss? You start us how you want to start us.
Okay, I think I'll go broad to start. I was pleased that they were in the game because I think maybe one of my major takeaways from this in terms of my fandom and watching JMU and studying JMU is that I feel like the last couple times that they've played ACC teams, Power 4 teams, I've been really nervous. I was like, oh God, how are they going to do against UVA? It's a winnable game. They're favored. This would be a tough one if they don't take advantage of the opportunity. And then against North Carolina, coming off the Gardner-Webb game last year, I was like, oh man, I don't know if they can stack up against this team, beat them by 20. This one, I was like, oh man, it could get out of hand. It could get ugly. They hang in these games. They're 2-1 their last 3 against ACC teams. They're a really good program. And I think they've raised their floor so much that watching them play these high quality caliber teams, it's just expected that they're going to be in the game. They stopped the run against everybody, man. This is one of the best rushing attacks in the country. And aside from one really long run late, JMU was phenomenal in the trenches defensively. The linebackers are great. So I think my big thing is the Dukes can play and they're a legit FBS program. And it's nice to sort of see that validated again. At the same time, as you become more legitimate, your standards raise and your expectations raise. And they absolutely let an opportunity go. I think losing this by 14 is the most points they could have possibly lost this game by, given how they played.
Yeah. I mean, they should have not lost this game. And don't let a Louisville fan hear you say that. Because if a Louisville fan hears you say that, then they are going to be the most miserable group of fans I've ever heard in my entire life. I think you tweeted that at one poor Louisville fan who was complaining about it, and it truly is. It's serious. But yeah, a 28-14 loss is the worst possible outcome here because JMU was the better team for most of the game, and just a break here, break there, and then getting stuffed late at the goal line with Sluka, like, really hurts.
Sneaky
you mentioned
frustrating there.
Not sneaky, very frustrating. And
like, just cut it to one score. It looks just so much better throughout the season if you're able to do that. They had 30 seconds, basically, from, like, the 2.
And they couldn't get in. Sluka gets stuffed.
They ran, like, one play, too. It's not even like they couldn't, right? It's not even
It's like they weren't even trying to score. It was like, all right, we're going to try, and then if we don't, then I guess sports gamesmanship. But, like, in the current state of college football, you need beauty points sometimes. You mentioned Isaac Brown getting that late rushing touchdown. He broke it open. I think it was a huge positive that JMU was able to hold Louisville to 2 explosives when they have a pretty darn good offense and a very good running back that really was like bottled up for the majority of that game. Defense was such a bright spot, but offensively it was a huge letdown. How many now is it, Bennett? 5 of the last. How many games in the last, like, 2? They haven't gone over 200 yards in a long time passing.
8 of the past 10, they've been under 200 yards passing. And then there's some other stats that, like, if you really want to dive into them, get kind of scary. Just broad things, like 5-5 in their last 10 games, just as a team, isn't the nicest look, right? They struggled to end Sunbelt play. They're struggling. So I think that's the other thing too. It's not that they're just struggling passing. It's just they're struggling passing and also struggling to win because of it.
Well, and I tweeted this too, where, like, of those 5 games, 4 of them, and we love Stats of War, great account.
Yes.
We constantly quote tweet their Sunday tweets where it's like, how bad did you lose? And of the last 5 losses for JMU, 4 of their losses, they have technically been the better team according to success rate. I tweeted that out. Someone else responded to me and said, 4 of the last 5 games that they've lost as well, that they have been favored in. I mean, so much of it. It's just like you have let so many opportunities you've let so many opportunities slip through your fingers.
9-4 last year. They're 1-1 now. I mean, you could make a legitimate case that last year they should have at least flipped 2 of those. Then you're looking at 11-2. Well, I mean, if they're 11-2 and 2-0 now, you're looking at, like, Chesney's really achieved some incredible stuff, and instead you're kind of thinking that they've maybe underachieved a little bit, given the rosters that he brought in, which he does deserve a ton of credit for. And they have had some nice wins and some nice performances. So it's not bad, but I have questions about the offense. I have questions about a lot of stuff, honestly, with the entire, like, operation and how the staff is handling certain things.
Here's another fun fact for you, just to kind of rub more salt in this wound. Of JMU's last 3 losses, they held a 14-0 lead to App. Very quick, jumped out to that lead. They ended up losing 34-20. Against Marshall, they held a 17-0 second half lead, lost 35-33 in overtime. And against Louisville, held a 14-6 lead in the third quarter and ended up leading 28-14. They've been great at building leads. They've been great early on. They've been fast out of the gates, even in this Louisville game, right? First drive or two was a little rough, but then you kind of go down the field effectively. You have that really well drawn-up pass play where you roll to the left, and then you throw across your body to Lakota Dipri at the tight end in the end zone. That's fantastic. You get out to these hot starts, and then you just cannot sustain.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating, and I don't know. I mean, there's so many positives from this game because of how good they look defensively, and then also the difference between the rest of the schedule in Louisville is gigantic. But they did let an opportunity slip, and I think that's what hurts the most, because you look at a roster that probably could make the playoff out of the G5, and then you look at what South Florida's done, where they beat Boise State and Florida to open the year. There's a ton of football left, but missing out on an opportunity like this is disappointing for JMU, because they have the pieces, they have the players, and they were in the game. Like, they had chances.
They had a third quarter lead. They had a third quarter lead. They were 14-6 in the third quarter. Then all of a sudden you blink and it's 14-14 because of a massive play. Then you blink again with like 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and Isaac Brown's running down the sideline. Like,
Oh, well, I think that's the part that almost is more frustrating is that you blinked and it was tied, but there's a long time between the next blink. They then steadied the ship after that. I thought it might get ugly. I was like, oh, this could be scary. They kind of settled in pretty well after that and had chances. Even when they went down 20-14, they had a couple drives there where they could have taken the lead late, and they just weren't able to do it because of. I mean, the offense had nothing. The offense had absolutely nothing in a bunch of areas. No. The rotation, but also the pass blocking was non-existent. Like the offensive line was getting cooked.
Yeah, I mean they were overmatched in the trenches. The Louisville defensive line was just wreaking havoc in every single way possible, which may have lent itself to the game plan that they decided to run out. But I'm not buying that. So you're a little bit more optimistic with how you take away from this game, right? You look at it, and it seems like for you, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're like, all right, it's a bummer, it's a loss, but Louisville's so much better than the rest of the Sun Belt, which is true, that this gives me hope for Sun Belt play. They still very much are the best team in the Sun Belt East. What worries me is that quarterback rotation, that even if they are the best team, like that defense is going to give so many Sun Belt offenses fits, everything like that. But if they continue down this path with this 2-quarterback system and this quarterback breakdown in usage, you know what Sun Belt defenses are going to figure out? How to stop this offense quite easily.
Yeah, I think that's where I want to give them at least a little benefit of the doubt. I want to see it first before, and I'm with you. I have the same worry. I don't want to assume that it's going to be like last year where they have all the exact same issues and they can't fix any and they go 8-4 again. I need to see that before I give them blame for that.
Let me push back a little bit to you. Why? Like, the issues that were there last season are still here this season. They finished the year. They finished 4-4 down the stretch. They're now 1-1, and we brushed past the issues against Weber State, but there was a long lull in the offense against Weber State, and we thought, oh well, they may have just gone vanilla, blah blah blah, and gave them the benefit of the doubt. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. They now have done it again in a much more important game where the offense goes through a massive lull. The whole game's a freaking lull because they're so adamant on this weird quarterback usage and this intriguing dual quarterback breakdown.
I think for me, it's because I think Louisville is like a borderline playoff team.
Yeah, but JMU, we were thinking JMU was a college football playoff team.
Yeah, but if you're the G5 in the playoff, it's not the same. Like Boise State, if you watch the game against Penn State, it looked like this. Like, if you're playing a playoff team from the P4, like, if JMU gets in the playoff as the 12, it's going to look like that. Like, the offense isn't going to do anything.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Like, yes, I hear what you're saying, but the issue was, like, the offense just sputtered. And you knew coming into this game that, like, you were going to be probably – you don't have the advantage on the offensive line, and you sputtered with that. And then you ran the ball with Sluka 21 times – taking the ball out of Nick DeGennaro's hands, Mikey Scott's hands, who had a great first game against Weber State, Jalen Sanchez's hands, Landon Ellis's hands, Wayne Knight, George Pettaway, Jordan Fuller, Joby Mallory, Io Adei, and Alonzo Barnett, because you gave it to Sluka 21 freaking times.
But who's the way? I mean, like, I don't think the plan made a lot of sense. But what are they? I don't know that there was a plan that would have worked.
That's the issue.
No, that would have worked. I don't think they have.
Took a pause at a wrong spot.
Well, I don't know what the hell their plan was. I think it was dumb. But I don't know what plan they could have possibly had that would have worked against that defense. The offensive line had nothing. Like, in the positive run plays were like 4-yard run plays or 5-yard run plays. They were not getting a lot going. Louisville's starting to stack the box more.
You know why they were stacking the box? Because every time Sluka got into the game, they knew they were going to rush the football.
What do they could have thrown it more with Sluka. I don't think it works. Like, I just don't think they have the offensive personnel to outplay Louisville. Like, people are saying JMU played the better game and JMU's the better team. JMU's defense keeps them in the game. JMU's not a better team. Like, they have nothing offensively. Louisville does. And that's why they won, because they got explosive, because they have guys who can make explosive. Who's making an explosive play on JMU's offense?
How are we supposed to know? Wayne Knight could have done it.
No,
but he didn't have any freaking. He didn't have enough chances, man. Like, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But when you put the ball in a non-explosive player's hands, like 21 times,
Sluka's an explosive player.
Show me his 4 yards per carry, his long rush of 13 yards.
Nobody else had an average over 5 yards per carry.
He was in the game for 30 snaps. Of those, 60% of his snaps were designed run plays.
Look, I don't think they did a good job with like what they were. I don't love the plan. I just don't know if there was a plan that would have worked. I feel like this stupid quarterback thing, I think it works against Liberty. And I think it works against Georgia Southern. I think it works against Georgia State because those defenses suck. I hope they don't run the plan because I hate it. But, like, it's going to be so much easier to move the ball against a team that isn't good.
I just don't agree with that. Like, fundamentally, I think defenses are smart enough at the college level to understand that when Alonzo Barnett comes into the game, it's going to be a passing play. Like, they did not disguise anything. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. We're like, Louisville owned the trenches, and I don't know what could have been done to negate that.
I don't think they can do anything.
Maybe it's quick passes. Maybe it's more of a quick passing game, which has never been a strength of Dean Kennedy.
A quick passing game, he got all of his passes batted down. They tried it.
I think
some of it's execution. Like Barnett, they put him in a horrible position. He also stunk.
Yes, it was his worst game by far, according to PFF grade. I think Barnett, and is it because he didn't get in rhythm because Sluka was coming in and out
Definitely
and they were doing
part
other things?
of it, right?
Maybe, or maybe Barnett's not healthy. Like there's so many.
The third option,
Louisville's good.
Or the other option that like he's played like what are we at 12 starts now for him, more than 12 now.
Yeah,
he started 12 last year. He started the Buck. No, he's up to 15 starts.
15.
2 of them have been good.
Hey, I brought this up not on the take purge, and it came back to bite me. So I'm glad you're bringing it up to solidify me. Well, I mean, kind of the whole team too, though, right? Like last year, they went 4-4 down the stretch. They went 4-4 in Sun Belt play.
The offense hasn't been good. The offense had 2 good games under Dean Kennedy.
Yes.
And the other games have been like wildly inconsistent, frustrating, confusing, maddening. So I've got a lot of questions about that group. I do think that it'll help that the schedule is easier because some of these defenses, I really think you can just like run it when they're expecting run and you'll still be okay. And I think there won't be as much pressure. And we know that Barnett struggles under pressure. So I think it'll get better. But I do agree that the rotation, where you know what the quarterback is going to do when they come in, is remarkably stupid.
So let me kind of break down part of the game, too, here for you, because I dove in and tried to figure out their splits overall. So AB3 took 55 snaps in this game. 54% of those snaps were called dropbacks. 34% of his appearances on the field were rushing plays. And overall, he was pressured on 14 dropbacks. He was also on the field for 1 pass blocking snap. They did some weird, like, 2 quarterback stuff. Like,
oh, yeah, I forgot they were, yeah.
There was a point when they were like,
all right, we'll out.
Yeah, that was weird. His average depth of target was 5.8, and he had 2 turnover-worthy plays. 6.1% of his passes were turnover-worthy passes. But the real kicker is in the second half, when the game plan really seemed to kind of get very predictable. Because rewatching the game, the first half to me wasn't all that maddening in terms of the quarterback split and the quarterback usage. The second half was where I was banging my head against a wall. Yeah. Alonzo Barnett came in 18 times to throw the football in the second half, right? Of those 18 passing plays, this is me from counting the box score and the play-by-play. So if I'm off by a number or two, please accept my sincerest apologies. He came in for 18 passing plays in the second half. 16 of them were in what are described as clear passing situations, either 2nd and 10, 3rd and 5 plus, or late in the game having to throw the ball to catch up. 16 of his 18 passes in the second half were in clear passing situations.
Horrendous.
For Sluka, on the other side, he was on the field for 30 snaps. Of those, 60% were designed runs, 20% were dropbacks. Now, those numbers are a little skewed because he had 2 passes during garbage time when the game was over. One was the interception that kind of ended the game for JMU. Was a very similar interception as to what he had against Weber State, just kind of throwing it up to the pylon and hoping his player would.
He's throwing it like to the inside, like it has to be on the back shoulder, and it's not.
And he's throwing it not to the right place at all.
Yeah.
So he has 2 interceptions like that this season.
Kind of sick that he has 2 picks with like 11 pass attempts
and 1 touchdown, just like ultimate boomer buzz. It was interesting to me that Sluka's average depth of target was 5.5 yards in this game. His career average is 12.3. So like just a
Alonzo's are stupid low too.
Yeah, like they were. So I made fun of them for not having quick passing game. They definitely tried to incorporate
How many
that.
passes were batted?
You didn't have this. You didn't have this stat ready to go. I'll pull it up now.
Because it felt like his
a lot.
first 5 passes were all batted, and I was like trying to pull up like his height on the roster. It's like, are we sure about this, man? Because that was frustrating.
So he had the number of balls batted in this game.
They say 2.
They say 2.
It was way more than 2. Maybe there was a tip pass. It felt like way more than 2. But
there was also a hit as he was thrown, so
okay,
3 balls were kind of impacted.
I wonder if didn't he fire one off a helmet? Maybe somebody else threw one off the helmet, but it was not good. I didn't like the plan. I think anytime you have 3 players throw a pass and your PFF passing grade is best for Isaiah Alston, who airmailed a wide open receiver by 20 yards, you're concerned by what your quarterbacks are doing. I think they got to pick a guy. Like, I know that I'm talking about how the quarterback system will work. I don't want him to do it. If Sluka is like going to come in, I feel like you just use him in like short yardage or red zone. Like I don't think you can flip guys in and out as much.
Yes.
I mean, it didn't make sense. And then like I know the running game wasn't working great and they were stacking the box, but still like.
Oh my God.
Petaway got 5 touches?
Screw this running attack. And I know the conversation's on quarterback, and we can talk about Alonzo Barnett's struggles against pressure, all of that stuff. But can I just go on a soapbox about this running back room really quick? Here's the breakdown of team carries, just on a percentage basis. You ready for this?
I got a feeling it's going to be a lot of Crusaders up there.
I'm not even that upset about Jordan Fuller getting a lot of run. That's fine. I'm upset that quarterbacks accounted for 55% of the team's carries, with 45% of those team's carries going to Matthew Sluka, with 17.5 of the carries going to Jordan Fuller, 12.5 to Wayne Knight, 12.5 to George Petaway, 2.5 to Iowa Dei. What are we doing? Why is Sluka taking away that many opportunities from a running back room that the coaching staff has been high on, that the media has been high on, that we've been high on, that fans have been high on, that random people walking down the street next to the Kroger have been high on in Richmond? I mean, I've been pulled aside multiple times, and they say, can you believe that Joby Mallory didn't get a single touch in this game? And I say, thank you. But like on a real note, it is wild to me that Sluka accounted for 45% of the team's carries. That is mind-boggling. It does not make sense. And look, we'll hear from voicemails in a little bit. Sluka getting 21 carries is taking opportunities away from a skill position group that is hilariously deep. And it's been on display now in the Weber game and even in this game. DeGennaro's a dog. Mikey Scott showed amazing flashes against Weber State and was the talk of camp. Jalen Sanchez was a baller at Villanova. Landon Ellis has a beautiful touchdown catch. You're taking opportunities away from them. Jordan Fuller is a literal freak. He has veins on top of his veins. George Petaway is the best running back on this team and is an all-Sun Belt player. You're taking opportunities away from him. Wayne Knight can run 22 miles an hour. Chesney said it himself in the post-game press conference against Weber State, and then started being snippy with the media because they weren't asking questions about Wayne Knight, but he's known all about Wayne Knight. Apparently he didn't against Louisville. I guess that scouting report was left in frickin' Harrisonburg, my guy. You forgot that you got Wayne Knight. You forgot you had George Petaway. Why the frick is Iowa Dei only getting 1 carry? What are we doing? And Sluka's getting 21 with like 18 of them designed runs? That is unacceptable.
It was a bad plan. Again, I don't know that there were many plans that could have worked that well, but this was like among the plans, one of the worst plans you could have possibly concocted. The one play that was good, well, they had the Barnett like little roll out for a touchdown that was cool, and then the Alston one, like perfectly designed. I'm sure they went through which receivers can throw the ball, and he missed it.
Never did another trick play after that. Like did like the weird like pitch shovel from Sluka to Barnett to then pass on the outside, but like Louisville knew that was coming.
It's not even like it is the result. Like it's the result. But some of it, man, is just like it's an entertainment product, and it was dizzying to watch. Like, it was hard. The announcers didn't know what was happening. The cameramen are switching back and forth because Barnett and Sluka are switching. They don't really know what's going on. Barnett's sulking on the sideline. Sluka's kind of mad on the sideline. He comes out after his one play and then is like talking to Chesney, like right in his face. And then Chesney's dad's talking behind him, and he's not ignoring that. It's like there's too much feedback coming into the head coach that he's either ignoring or not ignoring. I don't know where they came up with this game plan. Maybe it was over the offseason. They were like, we're just going to go crazy with it. But it screams like, I brought in 2 quarterbacks because I didn't think my one quarterback was going to be healthy. I promised him playing time. He's actually healthy now. And instead of being like, you know what, guys, I kind of effed this up. He goes, we'll make it work. We're all best friends. We all know each other's names. Let's all play. Like, you have to pick a quarterback. There's a reason why teams don't do this. This isn't just like a little like cliche thing. Like, you have to have an offensive identity. And when you shift it every play or every third play, it's not going to go great. Nick DeGennaro gets asked about it in the postgame, and he pauses and goes, I got to think about how to answer this question. You've created an unnecessary quarterback controversy in week 2 when you have maybe the best defense in the group of 5 with a bunch of great running backs. Like, what a ridiculous way to shoot yourself in the foot for no reason.
And, like, it worked against Weber, right? Like, and I know that's an
sort of,
FCS
because he couldn't pass the ball, but yeah.
But, like, that split was fine. Alonso looked good to start the game. And, like, that split, I was like, I can handle this type of 2 quarterback scenario. Sluka even had, like, more of a 50-50 split between run and pass. The issue, too, is, like, when you then are telegraphing to the other team what you're doing based on the personnel in the game. Like, you are already telling them, all right, Sluka's in. Because it is more often than not, he is running the football. Plus, he hasn't shown this season that he's a good enough passer for us to be like, well, I'm worried that DeGennaro's on an island one-on-one on the outside. No, they don't care because they're like, well, we've watched Sluka pass during these FBS games, and we've realized he can't hit the broadside of a freaking barn. So I feel comfortable playing one-on-one on the outside. Like, so much of it is so frustrating. And then Alonso dealing with pressure, you're now putting him in opportunities or situations, I should say, where he is getting pressured because it's a clear passing down. What? Like, it's so
the plan was like the plan was basically like, if you were a Louisville defensive coordinator and you had to pick like what you would like JMU have done offensively, that's basically what they did. Like, it was so predictable and bad. And then like I've never been more sure that somebody was about to take a sack than Barnett, like on the one where he fumbles in the end zone. It was 3rd and long. You know nobody's going to get open. You know the first read's not going to be there. You know there's going to be pressure, and you know he's not going to be able to avoid it because he's not great at avoiding it, and he's coming off an ACL tear. And it was like, you know what? I hope he doesn't take a safety. And then it's like, oh, he's taking the safety, and also the ball came out. So that's not great. But like, it was, I've never wanted, and I really didn't think I would ever say this, I've never wanted like Kurt Signetti level of conservatism, like more than I did in that game. I would just wish so badly that they would have just ran it a bunch, punted a bunch, like good punts.
Yeah,
like
well,
just,
not the one that
not the
ended up
8-yard
being
punt, but like some positive punts. Play the field position game. Try to limit like one fewer explosive. But I mean, they have a really good chance to win that game if they don't give up a defensive touchdown.
It feels
like
like
it wasn't
you
just
all
the
out
offense was bad; they gave up 7.
It was tough. I mean, yeah. Anything else you want to touch on with this game? Do you want to dive into Alonzo Barnett's struggles against pressure? Because it's a small sample, but it seems like that.
He's just, I don't know, man. He's really good running downhill. He hasn't been as good laterally or like getting out of pressure, which is frustrating. And it's tough because
he can't feel pressure. Like, he can't feel it. That's the other thing. You know what I mean? Like, on the fumble one, and look, if I'm out of line saying this, please let me know. You let me know, Bennett, or if there's a former player that can let me know on this. But from what it looked like from the broadcast angle, the left tackle and right tackle were both being pushed back into his lap, and it looked like he did not feel confident in rolling out either left or right.
Correct.
And then there was a safety or a linebacker, I forget which it was, came unblocked on like a delayed pressure right through the middle into his face, and that caused the strip sack fumble, where if he's able to kind of feel that pressure being pushed back into his lap, maybe, 0.5 of a second quicker or something along those lines, he can roll out right or roll out left, maybe to try and keep the play going a little bit or give him an opportunity to throw the ball away and not take a sack or a fumble sack.
I mean, the plan was bad. They were also outmatched, so like you had to have a good plan because you were outmatched offensively with like your athletes, I think. So I don't know. They just didn't. It was bad. It was bad offensively, which is so frustrating because the defense was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, the defensive line was dominant. Manuel Bush looked great. Sahir West, and pretty much everybody on the defensive front. Linebackers were amazing with Hendrick and Weathersby. Barksdale had one of my favorite plays like of the season when they want to run a reverse and he comes out of nowhere to make a tackle. And Louisville fans are like, wait, what? And Barksdale just does his little, here's your cup of Gatorade, as he claims that, that celebration is. So I don't know, man. I love the defense. I think they're going to keep them in a ton of games. And that's what's like, if they can just figure out something offensively, you do not need to be the best offense in the country. You don't need to be crazy good. You just need to be competent and let your defense kind of do the rest. And I think you're going to have a legitimate chance to run the table the rest of the way if they can, just find something on offense.
That defense was so good. They've been talking all off season about like these exotic looks and all of this crazy stuff they've been doing against Weber State. I think you and I looked at each other and we were like, okay, cool. Is the exotic look a 3-3-5?
Right.
And then it turns out, nope. It's like not that. It's a lot more fun than that. Like they did some sim pressures where they fake like Trent would go, and then they brought another linebacker and other things like that. Like the Gannon Weathersby sack early on, It was like, oh, that's an exotic look that just schemed him a wide open lane to go tackle Miller Moss.
Just some really fun stuff. So I'm excited about what the defense can do. I think I don't know, I thought they held up pretty well as a team. Just disappointing that they missed their opportunities. But yeah, I was hoping, and I think most fans were, to come out of the game with, like, if it was a competitive game, that you would come out of it being like, all right, we're about to go on a tear. And it's kind of like you're coming out of it like, we're about to go on a tear. If we can figure out the most important position in football.
Which it does feel like this issue was staring at us in the face throughout the entire like fall camp. When what I'm saying is like all the reports are like Barnett's coming back.
Sure,
it seems like Barnett. Well, I guess not all the reports because everyone else was also writing how he wasn't cleared for contact and it wasn't clear if he would be coming back. But there were like that was kind of hovering over this team for so long, where it's like he's practicing. Is he gonna come? It just felt like this was always something that was like the Grim Reaper in the background, where it was like, I'm going to not pay attention to that, and hopefully he'll just go away.
Yeah, I guess I think I got thrown off like you when it was, I think the first game was like 45 snaps Barnett, 12 for Sluka.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's what I want.
I thought it was going to be a lot like that. I thought they were going to have like maybe a drive for Sluka and then some goal line stuff. And they were going to kind of just roll with Alonzo based on what he did against North Carolina. And so, like, he can spin it. I mean, it's just a matter of getting him, like, to not be overly pressured and things like that. But, he can throw it. He has a really good arm. It's just a matter of, like, seeing the field the way he needs to, guys getting open, protection holding up. There's a lot of things that go into having a good passing game. And they didn't really have any of them working in this game.
The decision-making, too, from this coaching staff was on full display early on. And I know the ends justified the means when Alonzo comes in on, like, the 2-yard line and they throw it for the touchdown.
Sure.
But, like, the decision-making to go, like, QB power, first down, QB power, and then, okay, now we're on the 2, which is where you would think QB power would be the thing. And they're like, all right, switch it up. We're bringing in Alonzo. We're going to throw it here. And it's like, I know we scored a touchdown. The ends justify the means, but, like, that was head-scratching.
Yeah, and it needs to be more, like, if it's going to be chaotic, it has to be chaotic, right? It was, like, chaotic for JMU, but Louisville, like, you're signaling every time you brought someone in, like, now it could be a pass. Now it's definitely a run. Like, there's no chaos for them, where they've kept talking about, like, the competitive advantage and, like, the defense has to prepare for both. I'd argue the defense has to do less preparation. Because you're telling them if it's a run or a pass based on who you brought in.
Yes.
Like it was not.
Yes.
The intended result was like this chaos, exotic look. Like the defense, good job, you did it. The offense, I don't know what you thought. The chaotic look would have been like Sluka throwing his first 10 times, like doing something crazy, tendency breakers. Instead, they were like, our tendencies. We're gonna lead into them. We don't have the guys to do it, and let's just see what happens. And it sucked.
Yeah, it's. All right. Anything else you want to touch on from this game?
I'm just frustrated with how it played out. Just because, I am so impressed by the defense and Hitchler and what they did.
Fantastic. Defense, give that to me all day. Give it to me all day. But offense, I would actually prefer... JMU would have been better off just playing defense and punting the entire game.
Pretty much. They're really balling out. I guess on the excited part, it gets easier. You have a bye. I want to see, though, let's see what you have against Liberty. Because Liberty's not very good. Liberty lost to Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State threw 12 passes in that game. So, you could
Jacksonville
run
State has a new head coach.
You could run an entire Sluka game, and I think you'd win this one. So is that what they do? I want to see, because I know Chesney's not going to say anything of substance for the next 2 weeks, right? He's probably going to say, we got to figure it out offensively and get better, which is fine. If you have no offensive rhythm, take every competitive advantage you can get and try to come up with a plan and then do it against Liberty in a game that matters. But they need to come up with something, because I also think the locker room might have some little, you do not want some divisions.
Well, you saw it on the sideline.
Yeah.
Alonzo's sulking. And he's
Rightfully
their guy.
So, man.
He's their guy. He is their guy.
Right.
He's the locker room's guy. And then you got DeGennaro. You mentioned it earlier when he's asked about the quarterback situation. He takes a pause and is like, I have to think about how to answer this. And then Chesney gets asked by it. I think Katie Harper of the DNR asks.
She has a couple of good questions, yeah.
How are they handling it? And Chesney's like, well, they don't like it, obviously. And it's
which was a weird answer, yeah.
And then I don't know who asked the question. It sounded like maybe a Louisville guy, but was just kind of what was your approach to using the two quarterbacks? Is it game dependent?
Decide, yeah.
And he's like, well, it's all in the game plan. And then it's like, well, what does that mean?
What was the game plan? Was it to just lean into your tendencies as much as possible? That's the other thing, though. They always talk about, they're like, Sluka's got this great rushing skill set. Burnett has this great passing skill set. It's right, but you can't only do that because the defense knows what's going to come to a pretty good extent. So you have to vary your tendencies. This is what we always talked about with Signetti when they were 2023 when they would throw on first down, they would just demolish teams. But when he would go run, they would struggle, and it was all they needed. And then they did it. They broke the tendency and they threw more on first downs and they clicked on offense. And McLeod looked amazing and won Sunbelt Player of the Year. So there's a lot of football left. But yeah, you just break your tendencies, please.
You just need some tendency breakers.
Not even a ton, man. Just you can't be 90% run.
Oh, just with Sluka, you just got to make it where it's honestly, you need a 50-50 split to keep a defense honest, with Sluka when he's in there. Because if it's even a 60-40 split, defenses will err on the side of run when it comes to Matthew Sluka.
Yeah, and I think Barnett, some of his
show that he can
set,
pass.
Yeah, and Barnett can move around a little bit too. And it seemed like they didn't want to have him run, which is the strength of his game too. So I don't know. It was a weird plan.
Yeah. All right. I think this is the third time I'm asking the question. Each time I do, it would bring something new up. Anything else?
No, I'll stop talking now.
Yeah, we didn't even get to our Alonzo Barnett pressure stuff but man. All right. We're going to get a quick break in here. Step aside. We'll be back. Every Monday, go to the house with former JMU quarterback Vad Lee and Hall of Famer Delvin Joyce. It's the weekly JMU football podcast with insider insight you won't find anywhere else from two guys who've worn the jersey. Listen now. Subscribe to the JMU Sports News Podcast Network to never miss an episode of To the House every Monday. Big win, huge play. Don't just remember it, wear the moment. Breaking Team makes shirts that capture the game's biggest highlights right as they happen. Gear up today using the link in the description. College football's back, and it's time to upgrade your game day gear. Right now, claim 15% off at Homefield, the best retro and vintage apparel in the game. Rep JMU in style. Don't wait. Check the link in description to get your 15% off. All right, welcome back in JMU Sports News Podcast. You ready for some news or snooze, Bennett?
I am absolutely ready. We actually had some good quotes this week.
We had some great. The post-game presser, you could have gotten them all from that.
I think I might. These are really electric quotes. Okay, first one, Bob Chesney. He said, that's a good team. They're going to win a lot of games. We all understand that. But at the same point in time, this is a game that we lost. I don't feel like they won. I feel like we lost this game. That's on me.
Newsworthy. Because, yeah, it was on you. Yeah, it was. That was 100% on the coaching staff.
I also found that, I mean, it's tough, like, right after a game. You're a little more emotional. But interesting, because he's usually pretty guarded. For him to be like, yeah, I don't feel like they beat us, was interesting.
Yeah, that too. I mean, Louisville fans didn't like it, but he said it. DeGennaro just, said it.
Let's get to DeGennaro.
Okay, DeGennaro's next.
My favorite. This one got Louisville fans very upset. Understandably, right, if JMU won a game by 14 and like an opponent said this, JMU fans would be mad. But we knew we were better than this team. We were better than this team. We shot ourselves in the foot. We were 100% better than this team, and that's why this one hurts.
Newsworthy, and I love it. Look, there's a rule, Mina Kimes' quarterback rule. A quarterback either has to believe he is a god or believe in a god, and that's how you get a really good quarterback. Jordan McLeod thought he was a god. Alonzo Barnett believes in a god, right?
Yep.
Wide receivers just need extreme amounts of confidence, and that's what that quote was. I love that quote, and honestly, backed it up. He was the best wide receiver on the field. Displayed perfectly with his one-handed grab that defied the laws of physics.
Yeah. Okay, here's a good one. And Chesney had some new stuff this week that I haven't had a chance to look at yet, but this is from after the game. This is Katie Harper tweeted this one. It was about the quarterback rotation. We talked about this a little bit, but he said, who likes it? They don't love it. It's not their favorite thing to do. They'd rather play football.
Newsworthy. Man, you got 3 newsworthy quotes here.
I love the who likes it part. That really got me because I don't think anybody liked it. Truly, who likes it?
I think it was right after this question where there was like a lull in questioning.
Oh, and then he got really, that was weird, man.
Chesney got a little snippy underneath his breath where he was just like, that's it? 2 questions about quarterbacks? That's it? And it's like, brother.
That's the story of the game, my sir.
Well, one, they're probably handing a mic around.
It was
like
a natural pause, yeah.
And also, like, that's the biggest story of the game. Like, even for Louisville beat writers, the story of the game was
it was like, what the hell was that?
Andre Ware is on the broadcast going, what are they doing? So, yeah, it makes sense that the questions... I'm shocked that not every single question post-game was about the quarterbacks.
I mean, it was something. It was definitely something. Those were pretty fascinating. And then DeGennaro had another one where he said the Louisville secondary couldn't hold the receivers at all, and they were running by the Cardinals all night. Jamie finished the game with 137 passing yards.
Look, they may have been running past their defenders, but the quarterbacks didn't have enough time to get them the ball.
I think there's some frustration from the receivers, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like...
Because 21 opportunities were taken away for Sluka to run the dang football, man.
Well, and every time they're calling a pass play, it was basically a sack or like a batted pass. DeGennaro, one-handed catch was insane. Like, the guy needs the ball. A bunch of them need the ball, and they don't seem capable of giving them the ball.
I will say, really weird thing like of this game, and I know the Weber State game's like an FCS game, so it is a little different in the way that they probably approached it and game planned it, blah, 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 blah. DeGennaro and Sanchez like led the team in targets, and it like wasn't particularly close, which was just really interesting considering that in game 1 it was Logan Kyle leading the way with targets, but Jalen Sanchez and Nick DeGennaro combined for 12 targets. Like, they weren't hardly targeted at all in game 1.
Yeah. Yeah. One more from Chesney while we're here. I thought they both had their moments as quarterbacks, good and bad. I thought this is a game plan that needs both of them. And then he says he thought overall Louisville did a really good job on defense. You think maybe he's going to pick a guy where he says this is a game that needs both of them? Like, is he going to get to games that don't need both of them?
Maybe.
Should he pick a guy?
Yes.
And what does that mean? Like 100% of meaningful snaps? 90%?
Well, like, it comes back to the off-season thing that we both were talking about, right? Like, if it's Sluka, you've painted yourself into being a Sluka team.
Yeah.
If it's Alonso, you can at least have a little leeway in how you utilize Sluka. Like, I really do think the Weber State game was probably the best approach. Like, it's Alonso's team, it's Alonso's game, and Sluka's going to come in for like 12 to 13 snaps. It's going to be about a 50-50 split. I think that's the best route forward. However, if it's more of this, either make it Barnett or make it Sluka. Don't put them in opportunities. I keep saying opportunities. Don't put them in situations where they will fail.
I want to see a Sluka game so bad, just out of curiosity. Like against a bad run defense. I would be so interested
That'll
to
give
see.
you such levels of hope.
Yeah, but I just want to see what it looks like, because it's it's a little bit jarring when they're like, no, like you can't throw the ball against Louisville. Like, no. Like, that's like, wait, what is going on in practice that you're like, just don't do it?
Well, just don't do it, and that also you're so good that we have to put you in a football game. But you can't do, like, the main job that quarterbacks are supposed to be there for.
Yeah, it's like an offensive lineman who, like,
it's like
can't pass block, but it's like, dude, we love you. It's like, wait.
It's like,
why are you in?
Sluka was just a running back in that game. Like, it would have been better off to put Joby in for 21 carries at the
like
quarterback position. Or like Jordan Fuller.
Kicker with no leg strength, but incredible accuracy.
Ethan Racky?
We had a little bit at least. Not NFL good, but it's like a guy who could only make from inside 30, and he's like barely clearing the crossbar.
But like that's the weird thing, like with it. Like Sluka looks like a running back.
I don't know, man.
Where's 2023 Matthew Sluka? He passed it well. 2022 Sluka passed it well.
They're not letting him throw.
Because he's probably not throwing well in practice.
But is he a gamer? And I know that's like such a fan take, but he strikes me as like the most gamer guy. Like Jordan McLeod was a gamer, so that he hated him in practice and was like, this guy's lazy. And then he came in and I was like, yes, like that's the dude. Like, give me, I don't know, go back to the gamer. What about a lot of people, Jack, are talking about Camden Coleman now.
Maybe I sent out a tweet. I don't know.
Does he play? Like, people are posting like graphics of him like black and white with like moonlights hitting his face. The quarterback play was that bad that people were like,
I just tweeted out
is both a model and should be the quarterback.
I just tweeted out a gif of a spider with the caption, "It's time." I was a couple beverages deep at that point.
But like, does he get any run? I mean, I don't know.
Look, can I question some more coaching real quick?
Yeah.
Mikey Scott, focal point of the wide receiver room in week 1. He's on the field for 11 snaps, 5 run blocking snaps.
I don't think he's a great run blocker either.
No, well, he's not, but like, so he was on the field for 6 passing plays after being like hyped up the focal point of the offense after week 1. Josh Pfeiffer, who did not play in week 1, was on the field for 27 snaps, 22 of which were run blocking.
He was a beast, though. He had some blocks.
I know, but you can't telegraph that anymore. Then if Sluka and Pfeiffer are both on the field, you know what's going to happen. Like, come on. There's just like
they were doing
so
that.
Interesting. Jordan Fuller didn't play week 1. Jordan Fuller leads all running backs in snaps.
The broadcasters were kind of funny because they had a couple things where they were like throwing screens or doing Sluka runs. And they're like, they're setting something up. And I was like, I don't know that they are. Like, I'm not sure they are setting anything up. I think this is just what they're doing.
And it all goes back to the J.C. Evans bowl game, right? That was a designed run that he then audibled to.
Yes.
And so everyone is like,
well, that's what I'm saying, though, is they got incredibly skewed by like, oh, this was kind of sick against Western Kentucky. And like, it's probably going to be cool if they do it against Louisville. I mean, not Louisville, Liberty. And it's not cool against Louisville. And it's going to work against Georgia Southern because Georgia Southern and Georgia State, Jack, they share something this year. Do you know what they share right now?
Suckage,
but very specifically, they are tied for the worst scoring defense in the FBS. They're both allowing 50.5 points per game.
Jesus Christ.
They played some good teams. They played good teams in fairness, but like,
holy shit.
Three of the four worst rushing defenses in the country are
So they have
Liberty,
allowed
Georgia
101.
Southern,
Oh
Georgia
my
State.
goodness.
They don't need a quarterback until mid-October, so they can do whatever they want for the next few weeks, and they should be fine. But you need to figure it out for ODU, and you need to figure it out for Texas State, and then I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this offensively, you can unfigure it out after that, because Marshall sucks, and I think App kind of sucks, and Washington State isn't very good, and Coastal sucks. So you need a functional quarterback play for 2 games in October. That's all you need. You need 2 games in October. I think you win every other game going away. Can you figure it out for 2 October games? Can you find any sort of passing attack for 2 games, one against a Texas State team that does not play defense? That's your task. And if they do that, they get to go to a P4 and make millions of dollars a year.
Do you choose to accept it?
That's your challenge. So we'll see if they can take it. But if they do, they'll be getting new jobs and bigger paychecks, and maybe playing for a Sun Belt championship, maybe hosting a Sun Belt championship. And if you can't, I don't know how the tenure will end, but it could be alarming.
I think it's a perfect way to end it there. All right, we got to go fall sports whip around real quick.
Fall sports whip around.
All right, field hockey. They're coming off of a 4-1 win at American. JMU falls in 4 sets, however, to Lehigh on the volleyball court. Women's soccer took a tough 3-0 loss to UNC. Volleyball before their 4-set loss to Lehigh did beat Princeton 3-1.
Okay. Women's soccer beat the Terps, so that was a good one.
That was a good win.
They got Coastal coming up.
Men's soccer, still waiting on them to show signs of life.
Yeah, we're still waiting on a little bit of life out of them. Right now they're 0-3, but you never know when life could happen.
They got Georgetown. We're recording on Monday, so this will be dropping like Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. So they played Georgetown September 9th on Tuesday, depending on when you listen. So we'll keep you updated with what's happening there. And you can follow along at JMU Sports News on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube as well for all of the latest news and notes around JMU athletics. And you can follow our home on the web, jmusportsnews.com. All right, we're going to get a break in here. On the other side, the first full voicemail segment. Appreciate each and every one. We had over 20 voicemails come in after the Louisville loss. Can't say that I'm shocked. JMU fans love complaining. I, too, am one of the ones that love complaining.
It would have been so bad if they had won, man. What would we have even talked about?
I don't know. I would have been too happy to even podcast.
We probably would have just skipped until the next loss. We would have gone silent.
That's what some people think we do, actually. Some people think we're too negative, actually. Where was I going with that? Oh, appreciate everyone who called in. We picked probably 10 to play. So if you did not make it on, it's not that we hate you. It's that there is time limits. There's time restrictions. We didn't want our voicemail segment to be 30 minutes, but we appreciate every single one of you for calling in, leaving voicemails. That phone number will be open after every single football game. A dirty little secret, it's technically open 24/7, so if you ever have a Wednesday JMU football thought, feel free to call that number and leave a voicemail. So keep calling after every game, whenever you want, and we'll pick roughly 10 each game that we like the best that we will play. So keep it locked right here on the JMU Sports News Podcast, because on the other side, a full listener voicemail segment. You do not want to miss it, because a schism take is coming up. For more than 20 years, SignPro has been proudly serving the Valley, helping local businesses stand out and get noticed. Whether it's vehicle wraps that turn heads on the road, dimensional signs that elevate your storefront, or long-lasting banners with yard signs, we bring quality and experience to every project. With a reputation built on craftsmanship and trust, we're here to make your message impossible to miss. Visit mysignpros.net and let's showcase your business with confidence. That's mysignpros.net.
Yeah, go Deuce. Listen, might be aired. This shit better be aired. All right. This is, I'm speechless. I was screaming at my TV. Beer bottles smashed, everything. It was bad. But after that, I'm just left sad and speechless. And it's one of those things where the offense just didn't get going, right? We're going to run a 5-quarterback system by the end of the year, I think. And the ACC referees just giving me a swift kick in the balls while we're down. It was just one of those things that, like, I was so over the top. Like, I mean, some of the things I was yelling, it was bad, man. But now I just have a hole in my heart, man. Like, I can't believe I believed. But on the bright side, I know that our James Madison Dukes are a middle-of-the-pack ACC team. So that's cool. Not that it matters, because these fucking ACC schools will never schedule us again, because they have to pay us, like, what, $500,000 to come to their poverty stadiums, and then they're not gonna schedule us again because we can actually beat them. Where's my invite, ACC? Invite me to your dog shit conference so I can shit on your refs more. But anyways, that's all I gotta say about that. Honestly, I thought I would have more things to yell, but just the ending was so anticlimactic, anti-happiness. I mean, I don't even know, man. Some other good takeaways. I had some banger tweets during it, so that's good. Twitter kind of popped off. Follow Steak Sauce on Twitter if you haven't already. But man, yeah, this is something else, and I don't want to rant too much because I know your guys' time is valuable, and I don't want to take up the segment from people who are funnier than me. But yeah, I mean, go Dukes. At the end of the day, I'm gonna finish the night off with some wild turkey. So peace, guys.
The schism is real. Down to Sluka, down to Jordan Fuller, combining for like 27 carries when George Pettaway, the best friggin' running back on the team, gets, 5 carries? Joby is nowhere to be found. Wayne Knight's barely used. Down with the schism. If I never hear the words Holy Cross again in my life, it will be too soon. Let them go 10-2. Let them go 9-3. Let Chesney get some job, some big P4 job that he's going to fail at, and then let's get our new coach.
Hey, gentlemen. This is at HD Chris JMU from Twitter. I am dejected, disappointed, sad, etc. I will remember how I felt in the first half of this game for a really long time. It felt like it was there. We could have ran away with the game 2 or 3 separate times. And the coaching staff shot ourselves in the foot over and over and over and over again with silly, silly things. Dean Kennedy is a football terrorist. I've been shouting it from the rafters since last year. I've seen enough. I need a single quarterback. At this point, I don't care who. I don't want to see this 2-quarterback scheme anymore. Take the bye week. Pick a guy. Let's go beat Liberty. Reluctantly, go Dukes.
Hey man, this is Tyler Reskovac. You know what? We lost, but God, our defense was just so good. Our offense, we need to keep a consistent quarterback. If we want to make sure that our offense is pushing, if AB3 is hot, keep him in. That's my only thing. I'm not mad about the score. We really could have won this game. But you know what? I'm excited about the Sun Belt and appreciate everything you guys do. We'll chat later. But, you know, go Dukes through and through. We're 1-1. There's so much potential on this defense, and I'm looking forward to it, all right? But I really want you to chat about what this offense is doing and picking a quarterback. Appreciate everything. Bye.
What's up, guys? My name is Dallas. I previously left a voicemail, but I kind of just thought about my take. You know, ultimately, I think we're kind of in football irrelevancy. We're going to go 9-4 again, probably not be ranked. No one outside of the Sun Belt even look at us twice. And that's unfortunate. I think a lot of the blame is due to, not being able to pick a quarterback one after, the first week of the season. And it is frustrating because the defense really held their own, and I do want to give them props, which I didn't in my last voicemail. But I kind of put this on Chesney. Barnett, he looks lost out there, especially when he has no time to get hot. And Sluka, he can run, man, but if he throws the ball more than 5 yards, it's just a Hail Mary. It's a pray, It's a prayer shot. So I think a lot of things need to be worked on. Fuller played great. Mallory, nowhere to be seen. Not sure what that was about. But, extremely disappointed. I guess we could kiss playoffs goodbye. This was kind of a must-win for us, in my opinion. I don't think we'll get looked at anywhere near the same after this week. Thank you guys, though. Amazing podcast. Love it. I always tune in. Hope this voicemail makes it on there.
Yeah, Ryan McCoy here on Twitter. We need fucking answers. When has a two-quarterback system ever worked in history? When has it ever worked? Where was George Pettaway? Where was getting our playmakers in space? Quick passes. Barnett can't read a blitz. Our offensive line can't protect. Maybe adjust. What the fuck was that? Just running up the middle, nonstop. Everyone knows what Sluka's going to do. Just complete coaching malpractice. Horrendous coaching. We should have won that game by 2 plays.
Hey, this is Justin from Georgia. First time, long time. This is the first game that I watched where I just wasn't really sure about the coaching. Last year, all season, I kind of said, I'm going to trust Bobby. I'm going to feel it out. Left the season kind of thinking, got the first bowl game. That was huge, but he still didn't really prove to me that he was up to the caliber of coaching that we have become accustomed to as JMU fans. And this game was just glaring from the very jump. The boys came ready to play. They were so amped up. The guys on the field deserved to win this game, and they did everything in their power, and it was lost by the coaching. And I really haven't felt that way since maybe the West Virginia game. And even then, that's when we're FCS. So it's like the depth is there, everything is there, and the coaches let us down. Hope to make some adjustments in the bye week and onward and upward. Still got the full season ahead of us. Everything is still in play, but hope there's some changes and some commitments. Go Dukes.
Everyone's going to talk about the 2 QB thing, and I fundamentally understand that if you play 2 guys, it's probably not going to work in the end. But the thing with tonight was it was more about the offensive line just got abused, which, that happens in this type of matchup. No matter who was playing quarterback, if someone played 100% of the snaps, if you get pushed around like that, rushing 4, if Louisville only had to rush 4 the whole game and immediately get pressure every single time, you're not going to win that game. Every 3rd and long, I was praying that they just ran a screen and they just weren't going to turn the ball over because the turnover was brewing every 3rd and long based off of pressure alone. And AB3's, game speed just isn't there. He never really handled pressure well last year. And this year with I'm going to take it easy on him because I didn't even expect him to be playing right now based off the injury he had. So I don't want to bury him too much, but he doesn't really navigate the pocket real well and all these things. But, my thing is I wish they kind of kept a tight end to chip or help at some point. They just kind of went empty and they had a bag back there and it didn't really matter to protect the quarterbacks. But at the end of the day, I think the QB situation will kind of figure itself out here in a couple weeks. But they got manhandled up front on the offensive line. It's like if you watch football, that's kind of where the game is won and lost. And from the jump, I was holding my breath every obvious passing situation because I knew our turnover was growing and it reared its ugly head in the 4th there. But people want to blame, I'm seeing clean house tweets, clean house. Just take it easy, guys. We're spoiled rotten and we've had a lot of success and we've beaten Power 5 teams before. This Louisville team is probably the best Power 5 team we've played in a while. Much better than the 2 other ACC teams we they beat previously. And I think they'll, have a nice season, and this loss won't look overly bad. The defense is for real, which is great. And I think they're going to be fine going forward, just based off of talent that they're playing. But yeah, it came down to the offensive line. Like, go watch the film of the pressure, immediate pressure, almost every single play. Sorry for the long voicemail.
Go Dukes, but we have the best running back room and receiver room in school history, yet for whatever reason, we feel the need to just spam Matthew Saluka at QB draw 20 times a game. Petaway had 5 carries. Matthew Saluka had 21. That's completely acceptable. Dean Kennedy needs to walk back from Louisville tonight. And we need to stick with one QB. It might have to be Camden Coleman. But go Dukes. This defense does excite me, though. This run defense was suffocating. Can't wait at the Liberty game. Going to be down there that week. Can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah, go Dukes. Listen, might be aired. This shit better be aired. All right. This is, I'm speechless. I was screaming at my TV. Beer bottles smashed, everything. It was bad. But after that, I'm just left sad and speechless. And it's one of those things where the offense just didn't get going, right? We're going to run a 5 quarterback system by the end of the year, I think. And the ACC referees just giving me a swift kick in the balls while we're down. It was just one of those things that I was so over the top. Some of the things I was yelling, it was bad, man. But now I just have a hole in my heart, man. I can't believe I believed. But on the bright side, I know that our James Madison Dukes are a middle of the pack ACC team. So that's cool. Not that it matters, because these fucking ACC schools will never schedule us again, because they have to pay us $500,000 to come to their poverty stadiums, and then they're not gonna schedule us again because we can actually beat them. Where's my invite, ACC? Invite me to your dog shit conference so I can shit on your refs more. But anyways, that's all I gotta say about that. Honestly, I thought I would have more things to yell, but just the ending was so anticlimactic, anti-happiness. I don't even know, man. Some other good takeaways. I had some banger tweets during it, so that's good. Twitter kind of popped off. Follow Steak Sauce on Twitter if you haven't already. But man, yeah, this is something else, and I don't want to rant too much because I know your guys' time is valuable, and I don't want to take up the segment from people who are funnier than me. But go Dukes. At the end of the day, I'm gonna finish the night off with some wild turkey. So peace, guys.
In fairness, the defense was totally amazing. Save the two big plays. They made Louisville's offense look like Iowa. Defense, Louisville had no answers for us the overwhelming majority of the game. To limit them to 12 first downs, 200 and some yards, considering 2 plays were, 135, 140 yards. Excellent defensive effort. Great schemes, great deception, some tremendous athletes on the defensive side of the ball. Offense needs some work. The offensive line needs to pass protect better. Concerned about the passing game. Concerned about the distribution in the running game. Go Dukes.
Literally the most embarrassing game I've ever watched JMU play. I don't even know what to do with the rest of the season. I know that this is an overreaction, but this is just awful. If this is what the season is going to be, the only thing more embarrassing tonight was the Karen and the Phillies game taking the ball from this little kid. What the fuck are we doing?
All right, Bennett. It's been a blast. Anything else you got to add for this one?
I am really excited for the rest of the season because I do think they have a good team. I think they're going to figure some stuff out. I think they have a chance to win the Sun Belt and be in the playoff race. They do just need to, figure out what they're doing at quarterback.
My intrusive thought is that this team doesn't have to figure out quarterback to be successful this season, and it is going to be the most infuriating thing on the way to like 21-17 wins.
I hope they go 12-1, and by the end of the year, they're just rolling with Blake Kendall, and he's just absolutely cooking teams.
I love it. All right. For Bennett Conlon, I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Thank you so much for tuning in to the JMU Sports News Podcast. Keep it locked, jmusportsnews.com for all the latest news and notes, everything that's coming out from our new contributors. Evan, he's doing all of our Instagram. Matthew's doing a bunch of game previews for us. They have been fantastic. Appreciate them. Shout out to them. So keep it locked, jmusportsnews.com for game previews, and JMU Sports News on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and Blue Sky for all of the latest real-time updates, everything like that. Those dang libs. Getting you over to Blue Sky. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See you.